You've referenced both body mind and head mind. Can you clarify the difference between the two?
Sure, head mind is the stuff we got conditioned into. It's the rules and the assumptions and the expectations and demands that we all grew up with and that were practically installed in our own heads by teachers, parents, people we hung around with. For example, who the hell put into our head the idea, the rule, that we could only be happy with another person? Doesn't that strike you as insane? What about the rule that we can only be really okay if we are earning lots of money? That's a killer. What about the rule that we have to go to a psychotherapist to be well again? Now there's a killer. Where do these rules come from? Well, they come from other people, we take them over, and then we think they belong to us, but they don't. So what we're looking at here is a giant conspiracy. I don't mind telling you that it's probably a state classified secret that the government doesn't want you to know. Your brain is not your own, your mind is not your own, it belongs to someone else. But don't let anybody know I told you that. Seriously though, head mind is not personal, it's the social thing that we have to live by. And it got installed in the brain network up here in the prefrontal lobes actually. The body mind is different. Body mind works through emotions. It's protective, it's personal, it's related to personal authenticity. It's designed for survival, keeping us well, keeping us happy, and keeping us living the kind of life that we are meant to be living. A truly authentic kind of life. Not the one the government wants you to live. It's probably taxed as well.
You also referenced their chronic fatigue syndrome. Could you explain a little bit more about the causes of chronic fatigue syndrome?
Sure. Well, everything I say here is, we're probably going to have somebody watching this videotape who disagrees with what I'm going to say. Well, sorry folks, I have to say what I believe. And what I believe is that chronic fatigue syndrome is neurological. It's triggered by certain brain mechanisms. Those brain mechanisms trigger overwork of the glands, and overwork of the glands overworks the immune system, the gut, the skin, the muscles. Now, chronic fatigue syndrome is just a silly label. What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. What it means is you've got fatigue all the time. And even that's misleading, because most people with the condition have got a lot more than fatigue going on. Now, what we understand here is that if we drop the label chronic fatigue syndrome, what we're seeing is a set of symptoms. Those symptoms are being created by overwork of the glands. Body-mind is creating that because it's picking up that individuals are not abiding by their emotion. We're getting a kind of build-up of emotion in the system, and as the pot fills up with emotions and goes over threshold, then body-mind notices something going on there that is potentially dangerous to the organism and overload the emotion. Then it presses the alarm button, and we have in the brain the hypothalamus and the amygdala. Those get pressed and those escalate the symptom. Body is effectively saying to the individual, hey, it's time to be doing something emotionally different here. It's time to be doing something about your own emotional needs. So it's an SOS call. So reverse therapy is really reversing that. It's helping people go back to a natural state in which they're able to be much more sensitive to their emotions and to what body's trying to say to them through symptoms. We have a saying, reverse therapy. Reverse therapy is so ridiculously simple that a child of 5 could get it. In fact, only a child of 5 could get it. And the reason we say that is, when you look at children of 5 years old, what they do that we don't, they're much more sensitive to their emotions. They're spontaneous, they can laugh 1 minute, cry the next. They're aware of pain, they're aware when they're sad, they're aware when they're happy. When a child smiles, you know that child is happy. For me, adults don't smile enough.
So you'd like to see a lot more smiley people out there?
Yeah, lots of happy, smiley people, that would be good.
Okay. You say that chronic fatigue syndrome is a label. I believe that when people started becoming more and more aware of this ailment, it was already labelled as yuppie flu. Would that be down to the establishment's lack of understanding, or just a general disregard for an ailment that people just generally weren't accepting at the time?
My understanding is yuppie flu is a journalistic label, and it reflects the ignorance there was about the condition 20 years ago. And there was a stereotype built up that people with ME or chronic fatigue syndrome, they were hard-working, overworking, overpaid, driven people who were way too ambitious and who were suffering as a result of their ambition. In fact, the vast majority of our clients don't fit that picture. They're certainly not overworking. So for me, it's an insulting label. It's something that's not very helpful for people in understanding the condition at all.
Okay. What advice would you give to people who want to stay healthy?
Maybe the best thing you could say in one sentence would be, if you want to be truly healthy, then you have to be true to yourself, and you have to be willing to act on your own emotions, no matter what emotions you have.
Okay. And as for a catch or a hook, when someone gets up in the morning and they think, oh, I just can't bear to deal with this day today, what is the one thing you would just wish for them to think?
Well, I feel I've got the right answer is, it's not thinking, that's head mind stuff. The best advice I can give people when they get up in the morning is don't start thinking. Just get on with whatever brings you joy.
Okay. Okay, John, I'd just like to thank you very much for your time today. I found it very enlightening, and I hope our viewers also find it of some benefit. Thank you.
You're welcome.